Vater ist ein Arschloch, ich kenne ihn nicht. Lass uns feiern.
Herein!
Hi, I'm Max. Welcome to Timeline Movie Recap. This film follows a 42-year-old woman named Christine, a successful talk show host. She's at a hotel, getting dressed like she still has somewhere better to be. She's not alone. There's Martin. He says this has to stay between them, their little secret. Nothing says romance like starting with the confidentiality clause. Christine's carried by the moment, bored, craving more, especially after a tumor scare. Martin treats it as fun. After 5 years of this affair, Christine ends it. 5 years is a long time to call a mistake, just a phase. To heal from heartbreak, Christine decides to take a break, a summer escape to Ischia, Italy. And yes, she has a husband. His name's George, and their teenage daughter, Sonia. Sometimes a vacation isn't about rest. It's about pretending the cracks aren't there. On the road, the marriage feels old and flat. George is busy with his own concerns. Sonia is a teenager curious about love. They run into Cairo, a younger friend of Christine who owns a local restaurant. They exchange hellos. After, Sonia asks about him, and George casually says Cairo once dated her mom. He used to be a handsome heartthrob. In the end, though, George won her heart. They arrive at the summer house. Everyone scatters. Different rooms, different silences. George slips away to call Margie, saying he misses her. Yeah, that kind of misses. Christine heads upstairs to unpack. She freezes. There's a young man asleep in her bed, like it's Airbnb for strangers. He wakes up, calm as hell, and says he's not a thief, just needed a place to rest. His name's Tamaz. Always comforting when a half-naked stranger assures you he's harmless. Christine doesn't buy it. She's about to call her husband, but Tamaz starts talking smooth, says he didn't know this was a beautiful woman's room. Christine rolls her eyes but doesn't move. He keeps going, says he's not here to steal anything in the house, except maybe her heart. She almost laughs, then catches herself. Tamaz asks why her husband isn't around. Christine already knows. He's too busy calling his mistress. So she just sighs, tells him to stay quiet, and lets him rest. Sometimes loneliness looks like generosity, letting a stranger stay just so you're not the only heartbeat in the room. The next morning, the family takes their private yacht out. On paper, it's luxury, but in reality, it feels like watching paint dry. Sonia, their teenage daughter, spots a group of kids her age on the beach and asks to go hang out. George says no. The classic dad reflex. Christine steps in, says it's a holiday, let the kid breathe. He finally agrees. And just like that, the only person with emotions leaves the boat. Christine and George eat in silence. George admits he's just worried about Sonia mixing with the wrong crowd. Christine smiles, half comfort, half boredom. Nothing bonds a couple like small talk about someone who actually still feels things. Later that night, Sonia rides home on a bike with a boy she just met. Young, carefree, invincible. By midnight, George starts pacing, dad mode activated. Christine tells him to relax. She was the same way at that age. Restless, curious, hungry for something that felt alive. The house is quiet, too quiet. So they do what married couples do when words stop working. A brief spark, a reminder they're still human, or at least used to be. When George falls asleep, Christine slips out and walks through the city alone. The night is alive. Music, laughter, strangers kissing in corners. She watches them like someone remembering an old language. Then she spots Tamaz, laughing with girls his age. He looks free. She looks trapped. Youth isn't an age. It's just the last time you believed wanting something was enough. Next morning, Christine swims alone. Across the shore, there's Tamaz, doing exactly what beach kids do best, pretending that's a career. They spot each other from a distance. Long eye contact, soft tension. Tamaz walks up and makes small talk again, smooth, casual. He offers to teach her how to skip stones. Turns out, Christine can't throw for her life. Tamaz shows her how. Hand on hand. very hands-on. Of course he does. As they talk, Christine quickly figures him out. He's a college kid spending his tuition money to live free by the beach. Tamaz asks what her husband does. Christine says he's a doctor. She's a TV talk show host. And yes, she makes more money than him. Tamaz can't stop complimenting her. Her legs, her posture, the way she moves. Christine pretends not to care and slowly walks away. Desire's funny. It always looks harmless until it starts skipping stones back at you. At home, Christine gives Sonia her old high heels. She sees her daughter as a mirror of her younger self. She tells Sonia that once she has a boyfriend, love will split a little from her parents, so enjoy being young while it lasts. Sonia answers she doesn't want to grow old like her mom because it looks like her mother doesn't love her father anymore. The first time a child reads their parents clearly, childhood ends a little. That night, they visit Ciro's restaurant. Tamaz is there too, quietly watching Christine. Sonia excuses herself. Her crush picks her up on a motorbike. Christine and Tamaz keep trading looks. Christine heads to the restroom. Ciro asks George if his marriage is okay. George says it's still pretty harmonious. Ciro doubts it, and the doubt sticks to George on the walk back to the table. Nothing tests a marriage like a friendly audit from the ex who cooks your dinner. While Christine's freshening up in the restroom, surprised, Tamaz suddenly walks in.
Das ist jetzt für kleine Mädchen, dein Wasser noch ist nebenan.
She tells him he's not very alert. Her daughter's already gone off with her boyfriend. Tamaz just smiles and says he's not looking for the daughter. He's looking for her. Smooth, tone, low flirtation. He asks Christine to dance. She refuses.
Ich bin mit meinem Mann hier.
But Tamaz leans closer and suddenly kisses her. Christine freezes, gasps, startled, trembling, then blurts out,
Morgen Hotel Bellevue, 16 Uhr, Zimmer 7.
Bold scheduling for someone who just said no. Desire doesn't knock politely. It just walks into the wrong room and dares you to follow. And seriously, what would you do in that moment? Walk away or show up at room number 7? Drop it in the comments. I want to know how chaotic you people really are. George, meanwhile, admits to himself the marriage feels flat and decides to fix it. He invites Christine for a quiet walk to enjoy the night. Sonia writes in her diary about her mother and hopes her parents will reconcile. Tomorrow is Mom's birthday. Next morning, Christine swims at the beach like usual. On her way back, she passes a camp of sleeping 20-somethings, Tamaz among them, with a girl his age. Nothing says commitment like waking up next to whoever found the flattest sand. Back home, George and Sonia surprise her with a birthday cake and candles. Then another surprise. Martin arrives with his wife. Martin is the man from the opening affair. Turns out Martin's wife is George's close friend. George invited them to stay, hoping to brighten the vacation. He has no idea about Christine and Martin. In the hallway, Christine and Martin cross paths. Martin, thinking with the wrong part of his brain, tries to take advantage.
Lass mich küssen.
But she's rattled and uncomfortable. That afternoon, while everyone sunbathes, she slips out to the city alone.
Geben Sie mir bitte das Zimmer Nummer 7.
Renoviert und frei.
She checks into a hotel and orders a bottle of champagne. Heart racing, adrenaline high, she gets ready like a love-struck teenager. Nervous, excited, reckless, all at once. She sprays on perfume like a teenager on her first date, then waits. And suddenly, Tamaz shows up. No small talk, no hesitation. They just start.
Herein!
Right at that moment, the waiter walks in with the champagne. Christine tells him to come in anyway. If you were that waiter, what would you even do? Freeze? Pretend you saw nothing? Tell me in the comments. I genuinely want to know how you'd handle that kind of chaos.
Auf den Tisch.
And yes, they finally cross that line, the one between longing and no turning back. The room fills with noise, silence, and a kind of honesty you can't say out loud. They watch the sunset by the beach afterward. Christine draws a line. She won't fall for him. This is just for fun. Tamaz lays on more charm and kisses her again. They drink until she's tipsy. She wanders the city alone. Sonia and her new boyfriend spot Christine drunk.
Hast du schon mit ihm geschlafen?
Du bist peinlich.
Christine rambles. Sonia realizes her mother is out chasing an escape and leaving the family behind. Christine calls George and says Martin's presence ruins their holiday. Still drunk, Christine hitches a ride with a random driver. Back home, Martin's wife greets her, says George is worried and looking for her. Christine says she needs time alone. Martin's wife then admits she's known about the affair and isn't mad. Christine was just a distraction from a stale marriage, and now she enjoys Martin's money. Christine asks if she ever looks for an escape of her own. She's too afraid of losing the cash. Inside, Christine apologizes to Sonia. Sonia bluntly says she hates seeing her mom act like a teenager and is sure she's cheating. She just wants her parents to be okay again. Next day, Christine puts on an old dress. George lights up, thinking she wore it for him. They kiss. Martin looks jealous. George invites everyone out for wine and dinner. By night, the four of them are drunk. When George and Martin's wife start to drift out of focus, Martin slides closer to Christine. His hand wanders, reckless and familiar. Christine doesn't flinch this time. She tells him straight his wife already knows. She's known for a while, and she doesn't even care. To her, Martin's not a husband anymore, just an ATM with a pulse. Nothing kills the mood faster than being reminded you're part of someone's financial plan. Christine goes to the beach to find Tamaz. Still buzzed, she says, "One more hour at the usual hotel," and leaves. She waits and waits. He never comes. Anxiety builds. She heads back to the beach to confront him. She asks why he didn't show up at the hotel, and he just smirks, saying she's the one who should come to him. Classy. Then, right there on the sand, he gets his way. They end up doing it. On the beach. Not exactly the most practical location. Sand, wind, sea salt. Romantic in theory, exfoliating in practice. At home, George tries to be intimate. Christine refuses. George finally admits to himself she's changed. He goes to Sonia's room to talk. Sonia says it feels like her mother found new love out there. George cries. At the dock, George and Ciro tie the yacht. A young woman walks by. Ciro, the chronic flirt, tells George to imagine sleeping with her. George says he has a wife and won't do that. Ciro calls him naive. Fidelity sounds old-fashioned until someone chooses it on purpose. Elsewhere, Christine stares at the sea from the house. Blank stare fixed on the sea. Calm waves, chaotic thoughts. Then out of nowhere, Tamaz slips into the house like a bad idea that refuses to knock. She startles, half scared, half furious. He says he's tired of hotel rooms. Christine fires back. This is her home, her family space, the life she built with George, piece by piece, from nothing. But even she can hear the hollowness in her voice. Tamaz moves closer, says he'll give her life meaning again. She pushes him away, but he doesn't stop, touching, saying she deserves happiness and that his body and soul are hers. Christine breaks, she kisses him and holds him. For the first time, they do it in the family home, the monument she built for loyalty, now sponsored by irony. Nothing like burning down your own home just to feel the warmth. Maybe the saddest part isn't losing control, it's realizing you never had it. Meanwhile, Martin goes shopping with his wife. He complains. She snaps that she prefers shopping to sleeping with him. He ditches and meets George at a restaurant. Both men are fed up with their wives. George asks Martin if he's ever cheated. Martin assumes the affair is exposed and confesses.
Hast du sie schon mal betrogen, Martin?
Mit wem? Mit deiner Frau.
George reacts flat, numb.
Ist ein gutes Bett?
Sehr gut. Großartig.
Worauf steht sie so am meisten?
Verschiedenes. Experimentierfreude. Am liebsten hat sie von Ihnen. Jetzt habe ich dich dran.
He says he wanted to leave Christine at first, but now he feels like he's fallen in love with her all over again. Then Christine shows up. Bringing Tamaz straight to their table.
Tamaz, mein neuer Liebhaber.
George's heart shatters. He walks out. Martin is stunned, says the truth will kill them all. Christine orders champagne and tells Tamaz to pay. He can't. She rethinks everything. Home again. A brutal fight. George vents. Christine fires back that Tamaz gives what George never did. George snaps, rips her clothes, throws her out half-dressed. Sonia hears and slips away into the night. Martin's wife? She already knew about Martin and Christine, chose not to care. Some marriages survive by outsourcing the pain. Sonia goes with her boyfriend to a hotel, the same hotel Christine used with Tamaz, owned by Ciro. They check into the same room. Christine spends the night drifting with Tamaz and beach kids, tasting the vagrant life she thought she wanted, until it feels empty. George sits awake until morning. Sonia comes back from the hotel and asks why he kicked Mom out. That won't make her love him. He cries. She sings to calm him. Parenting manuals never mention the part where your kid becomes your therapist. Maybe that's how families survive, not by forgiving, but by outlasting the night. No grand ending, just a man crying, a daughter humming, and a woman staring at the sea, each holding what's left of love once the pretending stops. In the end, 42 Plus isn't about betrayal. It's about time, how it quietly taxes us for every lie we keep calling comfort. Christine chased freedom, George chased memory, and Sonia just watched both of them drown in their own silence. Love doesn't vanish when we grow older. It just hides behind routine, waiting for someone brave enough to look. So if this story hits a nerve, maybe it's because we've all been there, halfway between leaving and staying, still calling it fine. And hey, if you've made it this far, don't vanish like George. Hit subscribe, drop a comment, and tell me, would you risk everything for one more taste of feeling alive? Because that's the real question, isn't it? Not who cheated, but who stopped trying first.